Throb never.
Dismissing black male intellect and foresight. I want to talk about this real quick because I listened to a panel by the Center for Immigration Studies. Their motto is low immigration, pro-immigrant. So this panel was titled The Impact of U.S. Immigration Policy on Black Americans. This took place July 11th of 2024 in Washington, D.C. And one of the head panelists, a person named Donna Jackson, I zeroed in on her particular portion of the panel discussion. But she states that with the position that she's in, she stated that she's and her organization, they're center right, whatever that means. But she recently is getting, a lot of phone calls from black liberal males specifically asking for help. People like pastors and nonprofit workers and stuff like that. So she's saying that for the first time, because of the past 3 years, for the first time, this illegal immigration impact on black communities, that this was the straw that broke the camel's back for black liberal males. And I'm just thinking like, really just black liberal males? And so I guess you're getting calls from people who have identified themselves as black liberal males, but okay. And she said that there's reality and there's perception. And she focused in on continuing to talk about things being reality and perception, but she's stating that black males have the perception that illegal immigrants are coming in, taking their jobs, that they have a perception that the government is, underhandedly trying to displace the black community. And she's saying that all these things are perception of the black male. Now, she goes on and on about this, but she keeps using this terminology of reality and perception. And if you listen to the panel, which I suggest you do so that you don't just take my word for it, when she starts off the discussion, she's talking about how black males think with their perception that immigration is hurting their communities, that it's their perception and their way of thinking that has them thinking that the government is trying to displace them with jobs and homes and all of this stuff. But if you listen to her talk, she goes on and on about it. And then some kind of way she ends up stating that their perception, sort of meets reality. She didn't say sort of meets reality. That's me saying it. But she said perception meets reality. But so my problem with her and her talking point on this panel is if black males were telling you that immigration is hurting their communities, that it's looking like the government is trying to displace them due to the actions that they're having towards American blacks, specifically American black males, but also the preferential treatment that's being given to immigrants who are illegal. How is that a perception and just the way that they're thinking and not a reality? You see, to me, I think this lady, her name is Donna Jackson. I think this Donna Jackson lady, she's been hearing these complaints from black males, no matter whether they're liberal or conservative. She's been hearing these complaints, I personally believe, for longer than she's saying she has. And she just dismissed those points and observations because typically black women and the United States other ethnic groups, they dismiss black male intellect and foresight. It can never be that the American black male has intellect and foresight to say, hey, look, we seeing a problem with this. We letting y'all know so that y'all can correct it. She wanted to attribute these black males in these communities saying, look, we got an issue going on, blah, 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 blah. This is what we see, and we, need to come up with strategies to correct it. She wants to attribute their foresight and their intellect and their critical thinking about what they see as adversely affecting their communities and affecting them. She wants to attribute that to their perception and their way of thinking. Not that it was a reality and a truth from the rip. You see, I don't give these so-called political figures and think tanks and all that stuff, I don't give them no slack, because if you listen to how she's talking, and listen to it closely, I advise you to, listen to how she's talking, you'll see that she's using neuro-linguistic techniques to kind of shift and guide the listeners' thinking about this topic. If you don't know what that is, look it up and, kind of see what they use. And then you'll see what I'm talking about. Like how she's using the language and how she's guiding the listener. Like if black males and black women, but we have to even extend this to black children, American black children. If we don't get on board and start understanding that this is a psychological war, and we don't understand that people aren't necessarily playing fair when it comes down to getting you to side with their agendas and all of this and that, we in trouble. Like, we already in trouble. We've been in trouble. But she attributed these black males telling her that the immigration is causing, the illegal immigration is causing a mass issue in black communities. She attributed that to that being a perception. Now, someone's perception could mean that it's right or wrong. It could be right, it could be wrong. But typically when someone says to you, oh, well, that's your perception, that means that they don't see it that way. And she kept using the terminology. This is how black males think. They think that the government is doing this. They think that illegal immigration is causing that. But if you're looking at this situation, this ain't what they think, and this ain't their perception. This is exactly what has happened, which means that they're coming to you with a truth. They're coming to you with a reality. They're not coming to you with an opinion or a perception. See, that's what makes this discussion by this Donna Jackson lady so critical and so insidious and so sneaky. Like, we have to be really, really mindful as to how we're accepting these talking points from people who may on the surface seem that they are for American black progress and that whole thing. But I don't think, and she may be, I don't know, but she works for a think tank that says that they are low immigration, but pro-immigrant. Okay? We don't have no, me personally, I guess I could side with them on that. We don't have a problem with people immigrating to the United States the right way. I guess we don't have a problem with that. But we do have a problem with, even if they do immigrate the right way and preferential treatment is given to them, whether they're legal or illegal. See, that's the issue. And to sit around and, sit on a panel and tell people that you're talking to black males, whether they're liberal or conservative, and say that their perception is that this is what's going on, that's what's crazy. And then another issue that I have is that they sitting up on this panel talking about how black men think and black men's perception. And there's 2 black females up there and 2 white males up there on the panel. It ain't a black male in sight. to give his actual reality of it. See, that's what makes this even more, sneaky from my perspective. Every time something that's involving, or every time something affects American black males, you always got black women up there talking for us rather than having us invited to be on the panel. That's a problem. Now, her own panelist compadre or panelist, associate, interjected at the end and said, okay, you're saying that they're illegal immigrants, and they're not immigrants. They are illegal aliens, which is true. And she further says, this other lady says that, see, this is the problem with the Democrats, is that they use the usage of language to shape I'm speaking in not verbatim, but paraphrase, She said the Democrats use language to, shift and control and influence, narrative and things like that. She didn't say it like that, but when you listen to it, you'll see what she said. But if they're saying, if this lady who just said that and the Donna Jackson lady are saying that they are center right, meaning that they're more conservative, I found it funny that the lady would make that statement about the Democrats, which I'm not, that I'm definitely more Republican or conservative, so to speak. But I find it funny that she would use that statement against Democrats when I just identified that this Donna Jackson lady used NLP or neuro-linguistic programming techniques to do exactly what she just accused the Democratic Party of. You see? And I suspect that maybe this lady has an immigrant background. I don't know. It could be conjecture and a wild assumption. She may not be. But it's weird to hear somebody say that, like, to be that dismissive of American black males' insight, their foresight, and their intellect about an issue that's affecting them and their community. Like, to me, it's like the audacity. You have the audacity to say that this is a perception of grown-ass black males? To be that dismissive. To be that dismissive of what it is that they are coming to you in complaint about. So all in all, I just say that y'all should listen to this panel, and maybe y'all will get something different out of it than I did, but I know what I got out of it. And I can detect bullshit and see the bullshit when it's sitting on the bullshit seat. So once again, the name of this thing was The Impact of U.S. Immigration Policy on Black Americans. And this is for the Center or by the Center of Immigration or something, whatever it is. I said it at the beginning. But take a listen to that. And then y'all, leave a comment or whatever and see if you got the same thing out of it. But I advise you to break it down slow. Break it down slow, listen to it. It's 14 minutes, 34 seconds. Listen to it, break it down, and see if I'm tripping. But I took offense with her saying that these men that were telling her about it, that it was their perception. And she tried to flip it like, there was nothing, negative about how she was framing it, with it being their perception and they think this, rather than admitting that she was wrong about what they had been saying and that they were right. This ain't their conjecture. This ain't a perception. This is not an opinion. These are facts that they're experiencing. And I find it funnier if y'all haven't seen the other clip of the food truck lady who got on and, in tears discussing how, the illegal immigrant showed her documentation of him getting financial assistance to buy her food truck when she had to scrape and scrimp and rob Peter to pay Paul on her own merit and on her own sweat and blood and tears. And she was upset about the reality of that. That wasn't a perception. So this ain't just black men, American black males who were saying this type of thing about this immigration situation. This is black women too. But you're not saying that it's her perception. You wouldn't dare say that because she experienced it personally. It's not a perception, it's a reality. And this ain't perception meeting reality. This was reality from the rip. How dare you being dismissive of black male intellect and foresight? How dare you? I'm out.
Heart throb never.